So a lot of people are wondering where I came up with this name. What happens? Okay, so let me go through a little bit of what like my process is when I'm doing like thought for this. It's gonna be, I don't even want to do this. Honestly, it's gonna sound so stupid. So I just for the first part, I have to get a name that's like low syllable. Like I only accept like 3 syllables is like a lot of syllables. Like Susuna, I don't even think it's like a great name. It's just something that I settled with because I was like, okay, well that's okay. Generally speaking, though, so one of the things I ended up doing was like I just go into like I'll just do it. I'll show you like an example of how I theory craft a new name. Okay, so I go on the summer name change and I'm like, okay, what's the name that I want? And it's like, I want Capisto, right? That's not like too bad of a name. That's 3 syllables, and I'm just like, okay, well, I kind of live with that, but does it roll off the tongue well? Capisto. I'm like, no, I don't really feel that. Like, I'm not feeling that. I like stuff that's just like 2 syllables, and I like things that are like clean. Like when you say that, I want people to be like, wow, that guy just really said that. Like, holy moly, like that just happened, kind of deal, right? And so I'll be something like, okay, well, I really like the name like Creator, right? And then I'll be like, oh, Creator's taken, so I'll do Creation. Like Creation sounds pretty good. Like when you say Creation, it's like, holy shit, you're against creation. Like this guy could have created your existence, and then that's like the kind of thought process I get into. I'm like, well, Creation didn't work, so what about Cretan? And I'm like, wait a sec, that's a European LCS player. I can't take that name. So then I like axe this name, but I keep like part of it. I keep like the end part. I keep like the CRE and the prefix or like the suffix. One of the things I'll just end up keeping. I'll just be like, you know what? That sounds great. And I'm telling you, like this is how I make names. Like so Priston came from my old account came from Priston Tales. And it's like, it's a terrible, like, I like the name, but it's like, well, it was like, well, where did I get, like, obviously, so the old name of the game is called Priston Tale, okay? This is an old MMO, I used to play it a lot, okay, so name's there, and I'm just like, well, I don't like the tail part, I don't think it rolls off the tongue well, I don't like the tongue part, so I'll keep Pris, the first 3 letters, and I'll be like, what else can go well here? I'll be like, I'll deep in thought, I'll be like, okay. I'll start looking around for ways I can get some sort of muse, right? I look for a muse around me. I'm just like, well, Pristo, right? Like I just saw a window and I'm like, well, what about that suffix? Like that could work. And I'm like, no, that can't work. And I go ahead and go back on it. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, what about tail? Pristail? No, I don't really think that's really good. You know, I already shortened it a little bit. Like it's not that great. So it's like, okay, Prissar. Like that's okay. Like I don't think it has like an intimidating factor, but it rolls out the tongue well. And it's like, okay, what about Prisquire, right? Like Prisquire or Prisquire, something like that. I'm like, well, that just sounds French, you know. I'm not really feeling that. And that's literally how I'll do my names. And eventually I'll be like, well, what about, like, and I'll be like, well, there's a coin here. Like, what about percent? Like 1 cent, like 1 penny. Like, and then I'll be like, well, percent, that comes out okay. Like, I don't mind that. Let's check the name. Oh, it's available. I'll verify the name. I'll just go in with it, right? And then that's like how I do a name change. But I would never recommend any of you follow my train of logic for it because it's so dumb.